How bad do I look out of 10 right now? We're just gonna roll with this. The mosquitoes seem to love me. I'm literally at a walking hospital right now. I still have these, ow! I still have my hospital label on. Ah! I hate doing this, it's on my hairs. Ooh, I still have ECG things stuck on me. Literally a walking hospital. It's been an eventful night, shall we say. Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I'm in my pajamas. I'm not changing. This is representative of how I feel right now. Sleepy, tired. Yeah, I hope you're doing better than me and feeling better than me, although I do feel a lot better. Otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here and filming this. But if you don't already know, I am solo traveling on my own around Australia. I am currently in Darwin. I am in my room in the Darwin YHA, and basically I had to go to hospital yesterday. I was taken in at about midnight. I stayed in there all throughout the night and I was discharged this morning because my recovery was thankfully quite quick. I just want to basically talk you through what happened, why I had to go to hospital, and yeah, it is quite serious and I have learnt the hard way. My hair is really annoying me. Maybe I should just tie my hair up. Let me just get a bobble to tie this hair up. Now you can just see the dots on my face even more clearly, but that's fine. I also have this lemon tea herbal infusion thing. Okay, maybe not. I just want to say, if you're gonna write in the comments after hearing this that I am a complete idiot and someone lacking common sense, feel free to do that, but you can save yourself the effort of typing it because I already know that. What happened yesterday was entirely my fault and I take the blame upon myself. And also a disclaimer, I should say this is going to be obviously a hospital emergency medical related kind of story, so if you don't like listening to this kind of stuff or things might be a bit TMI, yeah, just maybe don't watch or listen. But yeah, I won't go into too many details. I'll just give you the facts that you kind of need. So we'll start the story. It's the 22nd of December today. Wow, we're so close to Christmas. But yeah, the 22nd of December, it's now the 23rd, so the day after. And basically yesterday I woke up very late. I didn't set an alarm. I woke up at like 6 and then I was like, don't get up yet, Holly, just go back to sleep. So I slept until midday. So I woke up then, I didn't drink as much as I should have done. I went on a walk and I also went on a run, and as I said, I'm in Darwin. It's a tropical climate, it's incredibly hot and humid, and I obviously sweat a lot. I should just say as well, I was gonna go to the gym yesterday, but I couldn't access the gyms because I didn't have a membership and I could only go in staffed hours, but because I'd woken up late, I got there too late, and so I didn't go to a gym, which would have been the better option to do some exercise. So instead I was like, I'll just go on a run and I'll be fine. I was pretty confident that I would be fine. I obviously hadn't consumed enough liquid and I kind of knew that in the back of my mind, and that's why after I came back from my run I was chugging a lot of water. And I also added a bit of sugar and salt to my water to try and help me absorb it. And at that point I started to come on with a mild headache, and it was a very similar headache to the one I'd had last week when I was in the outback. So I kind of knew it was dehydration, and because I dealt with that in the outback, I was pretty confident that it was just going to be a short phase and it would go away as long as I just kept drinking. So that's exactly what I did whilst I went to the shops, got food, made my food and started eating it in my room, and that is when things started to get worse. I was just sitting and eating a bit of my food. I didn't manage to eat all of it because not only did I have this headache which was getting worse, I also felt like stomach cramps coming on and I felt really bloated, and I thought, okay, what have I eaten today? I hadn't eaten anything that different to what I normally eat, so I was like, this is really strange. Alongside those two symptoms, I also started to feel quite dizzy and lightheaded, and I started to get like tingling sensations or pins and needles in my fingers and my toes, like my body extremities, and then I eventually felt it everywhere in my body. I phoned mum as I usually do, and I was just listening to mum having a conversation. And at this point I kind of knew that something wasn't right. I kind of knew it was related to dehydration, and I was kind of worried to tell mum because I knew that she told me to not push myself. And what did I do? I went on a run. Yeah, sometimes I am an idiot. I don't have common sense, and I know this now. I am very illogical sometimes and immature. And yeah, so at the end of the conversation with mum, I was like, yeah, I have a headache and feel quite dizzy, and I think I'm gonna go to the reception of the YHA, because being in this room on my own, my biggest worry at that point was, I feel lightheaded and dizzy. What happens if I faint in my room and something happens and nobody knows what's happening? So the sensible part of my brain was like, you need to go to reception or phone them. And I decided it was faster and easier to phone them because I just felt really like lightheaded and I didn't want to fall over when I was walking. So phoned the reception, and the security came super quickly with a bottle of water and a Powerade or Lucasade or some type of energy drink. And he took me to the communal area of the YHA, which has like a pool and a bar where the kitchen is, and it's basically on the rooftop, so there's a nice flow of air as opposed to being in aircon. So yeah, I sat there and he just kind of kept an eye on me, and because the pains were getting worse, not only did I have a headache, I felt bloated, so I lay down at that point because it was just a lot more comfortable instead of sitting on a chair. I also had these tingling sensations, pins and needles. I felt a bit confused, just really heavy. All my joints felt super stiff and just like, yeah, heavy. I felt lethargic, and yeah, things were just not getting better. At that point I said to the security, look, I've never felt like this before, I don't know what's going on. The security phoned the ambulance and they came pretty quickly, and the paramedics gave me a quick check over whilst I was lying down, and they essentially told me that everything was perfectly normal. They were like, Holly, everything seems fine, you're gonna be okay. And I was really relieved. I was like, phew, like this is gonna go away. I'm not gonna have to go to hospital, because personally I really don't want to have to go to the hospital or doctors if I don't need to. I hate being a burden on services like this because I just feel that other people need them more. So I was like, okay, that's fine. They took me back to my room. I just lay in my bed and I was like, okay, let's just try and sleep it off. I'll wake up tomorrow feeling perfectly fine. But no, you can tell where this is going. Things didn't get better. Things only got worse. Everything got worse. And in addition, on top of the symptoms I already had, I started to feel nauseous, like really sick. And every time I thought I was gonna doze off, this nausea just woke me up again. I went back to my room at about 9:30, and I kind of tried to lie there and stick it out for about an hour, so like 10:30. And at that point, yeah, no, I just couldn't bear it anymore. I phoned the reception again and was like, I don't know what's going on, please can somebody come and help me? And this was where it got quite difficult, because the ambulance had already come out. I'd signed to say that I didn't need to go to the hospital, and they thought I was fine. They couldn't get the ambulance to come out again. So instead I was driven by one of the YHA receptionists called Ali, and he was just so nice, like the other receptionist as well, the security. Oh, that's disgusting. Ugh. But yeah, because the hostel is staffed 24 hours, 7 days a week, and there were limited reception staff obviously during the night time, as well as like doing what they had to do on the reception, and Frank had to be on security. Like honestly, I'm just so grateful for what they did. Like I can't thank them enough. Here at the YHA, I just kind of knew deep down, like I had this really bad gut feeling that things weren't right. I knew that there was something to do with dehydration. It surprised me when the paramedics said I was fine, but I kind of knew that something wasn't right, and something obviously wasn't showing up on the test that they did. On the way to the hospital, that's when I started to throw up. Luckily, I knew when I was gonna throw up, so I was just on the side of the road. It was horrible, but every time I did throw up, because I threw up multiple times, it felt a bit better, but then that sensation would come back again, and it was horrible. I got to the hospital. They at that point started doing a lot of tests, like blood samples, the ECG, urine samples, and they just started to investigate. And the bottom line was, I was dehydrated, yes, but more specifically my sodium levels had dropped incredibly, well, pretty low. I was told that your sodium should be within the range of 135 to 145 and mine was 125. I should probably look up what those units are. Hyponatremia is when your concentration of sodium in the blood is really low. Milliequivalents per litre is the unit. I didn't realise that sodium dropping low could cause so many things and cause you to feel awful like I did. Nausea and vomiting, which I had. Headache, confusion, loss of energy, drowsiness, fatigue, restlessness and irritability, muscle weakness, spasms, cramps, seizures, coma. I had a lot of those symptoms, and one of the things that the doctors and the paramedics kept telling me was that I needed to slow my breathing down. They also thought I was having like panic attacks, and they kept asking me whether I experience anxiety or I get panic attacks before, which I don't. But I was breathing so heavily at some points. I don't know why. I was just stressing myself out or getting really worked up and panicked, but my breathing was like so heavy and really fast, and that didn't help. Obviously the pins and needles, obviously I can control it and I could slow it down, but I just found myself breathing so quickly. I suppose like the low sodium, having just read that webpage, said that it could have been due to dehydration, and obviously I was vomiting as well, so I was losing more fluids on top of that. But then it said that if you drink too much water as well, that can also cause your sodium levels to drop too low. So yeah, I suppose it's kind of hard to tell which that was, because as I said, after my run and when I knew that I kind of was getting a headache, I was chugging a lot of water, so I did drink a lot in a very short space of time, so that could have diluted my blood and like caused low sodium that way. So yeah, it's very hard to tell which one it was, but from the blood test they did, the bottom line was it was a big drop in sodium, and that was causing all my symptoms. When the doctors knew that my sodium was low, they put me on a drip, they gave me fluids, and they started to try and increase my sodium levels. So I was in the hospital, as I said, overnight. They kept me in, and by the morning my sodium has now risen again to 133, so it's just outside the normal range, but the good thing is it's increased and they've managed to get it up pretty quickly. They definitely think it was all to do with dehydration. They don't think there's a kind of chronic underlying issue. I'm just glad that they sorted me out and they've managed to get me feeling like semi better again. I'm not 100%, but I do feel a lot better. Yesterday was just a huge scare. I've never felt that bad in my whole entire life probably, and I was just, yeah, really worried. I mean, everyone at home was really worried. I'm on a different side of the world, like what can my parents do other than try and call me? And yeah, it was really stressful and really scary, but as I said, it was entirely my fault and I feel so bad. But I hope this has taught me a lesson, you know. I really hope this has taught me that I sometimes need to take a chill pill and take a step back, and sometimes I underestimate how dangerous heat and humidity in the sun can be for you if you're not careful. But I think as well, like recently, and I mentioned this in my planning the next 2 years of my life video, I don't know, I still have this in the back of my mind. I want to maybe try and do a marathon, so I've got this kind of marathon mindset, but I think I just, as I said, I need to kind of take it easy sometimes, especially when it is super hot in a climate that I am not used to. I am British and I have been plonked in a very hot, humid part of the world that I am not used to. I have to remember that. That's what happened to me yesterday. I don't know why, what goes through me, but I think we all make mistakes and we all sometimes have to learn the hard way, and that's life, you know. Whilst it was really scary yesterday, like because I'd never experienced any of those symptoms or those pains before, I was just really worried. I was like, what is going on? What's wrong with me? But the reassurance from the hospital staff and their care of me, I feel as if I owe them like the world, you know. As I said before, like a huge thank you and shout out to the YHA staff. I'm just so thankful. The sensible part of me did seek help when I needed it, when I knew in the back of my mind that something wasn't right. Had I have stayed in my room, I don't know what could have happened. That was my biggest worry, but we're gonna work on not getting to that stage in the future. I just can't stop thinking about how silly I am. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know if you will have enjoyed that story, but I hope it was informative at the very least. And yeah, I will speak to you in another video, one that's a bit more positive than this one, but every story has something we can learn from it, I suppose, and take away from it. So yeah, thanks for watching and listening to my story of the day. But yeah, I'll speak to you very soon in another video. Bye. I asked the hospital whilst I was there what these dots were on my face. They didn't quite know. You see them all on my face here? Like, they're everywhere on my face. I think they're bites. They might have been exacerbated by the heat, you know, the redness. My whole face and my whole body puffed up yesterday as well, so that was fun. But hopefully we'll be getting back to normal pretty soon.